Well, welcome back to the Ropes Family Podcast. We're on episode 58 of the Ropes Family Podcast. We're continuing talking about Vacation Bible School because it's coming up quick, Courtney.
Yeah, it is.
How many weeks away is it? A bunch? 3?
No, 3.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks?
4, I guess, if you, yeah. Well, a month from today is when it starts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it starts on the 8th. So a month
today
from
is
today, the day this comes out. Yeah, a month from today,
Perfect.
this will be VBS, and we did it. We're also doing it on a Sunday. We're starting on a Sunday, so that might be a little different. What was
I'm kind of excited about it because it's going to be like we get excited in the morning and we start that evening, and it's not we get super excited in the morning and have 2 days to wait.
Yeah,
So I'm excited.
I think that's a good reason why we put it on Sunday. And we used to do like a kickoff on Sunday nights. This way we can use the whole day as a kickoff towards what's going to be going on in VBS. And I think it'll be cool giving parents a night out on Sunday night a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? We don't necessarily get to participate in the nights out on
We
VBS.
get to work VBS.
But I think we talk about it. It's a great time to have, you know, we're not missing out on the rest of the world. We're getting to participate in kingdom work, which is VBS. And I think that VBS reaches a lot of people. There's lots of people going back to, you know, I met Jesus during VBS, you know, like VBS is a big deal. And I know it seems crazy on the outside, but Jesus really works through VBS. I think it's really cool.
We have 50 something kids signed up, and there's probably 10 or 12 of them. I don't know who they are.
That's awesome.
So I was excited about that because most of them I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard the name or I know them.
Yeah.
But I think it's 10.
Yeah.
That I do not know who they are.
And I think I know I have a nephew coming, you know, from a different state coming to VBS, you know, so I think it'll just be it's a cool time that our church gets to minister to the community, and it's a great thing. So what is the theme for day, today we're going to be talking about day 2. So what is the theme for day 2?
Theme for day 2 is when we feel alone, we can trust Jesus.
So what was your thoughts behind picking this day? Because you picked the days that we're doing, right?
Yeah, because we have a 5-day kit, and I have to pick 3 of them to do because we do a 3-day VBS. So when I got the kit in, I read the themes for the days, and I was like, okay, you know, what really is important for these kids? So I thought about it. I prayed about it, and then our kids deal with a lot of anxiety and a lot of loneliness and depression and that kind of stuff. And I think as kids, we need to hear, I'm not a kid, but you know, we need to hear you're never alone.
Right.
Even on your worst day.
Yeah. And what do you think is kind of driving that? Like the kids feel that way?
I think it's the whole social media. We're constantly being like overfed information and pictures. And like my mom always said, or even when I was young, if my friends did something without me, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't all over social media, or I wasn't getting text messages from them. But now, I mean, if your kids are on social media, they know in 5 seconds.
Yeah. I kind of this is maybe strange. I had a conversation with my kids because they were at Disney over the weekend. And I told them, I was like, hey, guys, not everybody gets to go do the trip you guys just did. You know, I mean, it's great to talk about it, but, you know, talking about it or flaunting it maybe could make kids like feel not cool about it. It's not saying, not trying to take away anything of the experience you had. You just got to be careful when you talk about it because, you know, I'm 32 years old and I've never been to Disney, you know. You know, there's reasons for that, but you know, like I wasn't a kid that could have gone, you know, and there's kids today that can't go and do those things, you know, and it's important that we don't, you can have the experiences and have the fun, but gracefully sharing those things, you know, and I think social media is, you know, kids do see what other kids get to go do, and they can feel lonely if they don't, and left out if they don't get to do it. And so I think that's definitely something that kids deal with these days for sure.
Well, I know one of the points in the Bible book is that there's going to be kids in our community that don't have their physical needs met. And that kind of makes you feel lonely if you see kids coming to school with our kids take their lunch a lot, you know, fancy lunch boxes with their little whatever meals, and you're getting a tray because, I mean, you have to or whatever. And that kind of makes you feel left out, or I would think it would.
Yeah. It was kind of the
like
opposite when I was growing up. Like, the kids that brought their lunch, it was backwards. And so when my kids were like, Daddy, I want to take lunch to school. I'm like, okay, you don't want to get the lunch from the school, but I got free lunches all through school.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, that's great. I don't have to bring my own lunchbox and worry about all that. But yeah, I think it's the same. Like, yeah, kids can feel lonely or left out or just different because because of the circumstances. You know. And I think that addressing, when we feel alone, we can trust Jesus. I think that's a great thing for VBS to kind of handle and say, hey, you're not alone in this. You're not alone in your lunches that you got at school, or you're not alone in the clothes you have to wear.
Yeah.
I think the verse that you're going to read here in a minute will
even like the book calls it a friendship famine.
Huh.
Like when you're in that weird time where maybe you don't have close friends, especially as kids. Cause girls, boys always have friends. Girls, they get so nitpicky and dramatic over everything. So it's like, I'm not your friend. Well, I'm her friend. I'm her best friend. You can't come to my birthday party. All that nonsense.
And then tomorrow it's completely different.
Yeah. And then you don't even know her name tomorrow. But sometimes they get to feeling like I have no friends.
Yeah.
It's not even worth going to school. I hate school because I have no friends, Yeah. So Jesus affirms how valuable we are.
Yeah. And you always have a friend in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus, right?
It's a good song.
Yeah. And I think going to your point, each kid's different. They're going to feel different. Like Elliot will come say, yeah, Kaysen didn't want to be sorry, I shouldn't have said the friend, but yeah, Kaysen didn't want to be my friend today because I didn't like Ninja Turtles and he did. But tomorrow I'll be his friend because we'll both like something.
Yeah, I came home. I didn't want to play tag, and so and so got mad at me, and I'm like, I don't care. Why? Okay. Well, I wanted to play cats with Emerson. I'm like, okay. Sorry, you wanted to play cats and not tag. Drama.
The drama of the second grade
Goodness
class.
gracious.
And this kind of goes to show, like you were saying, the girls and boys, like Elliot will be friends with anybody and at any point, just because, they'll find something in common. But girls get a little bit pickier, but then it'll change and they'll change their preferences. Mm-hmm. It's funny. Emerson got home from school yesterday and she's like, Daddy, can I please call Allie? I really need to talk to her. I was like, you just were at school with her 20 minutes ago. She's like, but it's different, Dad.
So much more to say.
I want to call her and talk to her on my iPad. I want to do that. And it's just funny. And their friendship is deep in there. They're like best friends, which is awesome. And that's something that we need to continue to cultivate, I think, and have them grow, because I think they're good for each other as they grow older. Those are one of the forever friends, which is good. But, it's just funny that the difference in girls and boys' preferences can make them feel alone in certain times, And the meanness. Because sometimes kids are mean without realizing it.
They're so, like, bluntly honest. And it's mean.
Like, hey, you can't say that. That would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, don't say that to your friends.
They'll be fine. They'll get over it. I'm like, yeah. If somebody said that to me today, I'd be devastated for a month.
Well, I told one of my sons that his hair looked terrible this morning, and he said, yeah, my friends tell me every day. I said, so you're not going to brush it? He's like, no, I don't care if they tell me it looks terrible.
Yeah, it's not their hair. It's mine. It doesn't matter.
She didn't care.
That's funny. At least they're paying attention to me. That's kind of what I would have thought. I'm just a weird-haired kid, whatever. It's
look like a brown football helmet. It's actually my exact words.
That's good. Great way to bully your kids.
He needs to be bullied. Cut your hair.
I read something online that it's not good to be your kid's first bully.
Oh, well.
But I don't think you're your kid's first bully.
Cut your hair.
I'm going to edit that part out. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't care. My kid needs to cut his hair.
Okay, moving on with VBS.
Back to
the
VBS.
children's minister and the youth minister just here catching up on
They just went off on a tangent. Okay, so our verse for that day is Matthew 6:31 through 32.
Okay.
And it's, so do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all of these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. And then 34, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own.
I like that verse.
I do too. But it kind of, my whole life I've heard it, but it's always been like, well, I have food in my fridge. I don't have to worry about what's tomorrow. Yeah. But the book points out that in Jesus' time, they were living like hand to mouth. Mm-hmm. They didn't always know if they're going to have food tomorrow. They didn't have a fridge.
Tomorrow would bring, yeah.
Right. they didn't know if they were going to have clothes for tomorrow, if they're going to be wearing the same thing they've worn for 15 days. And they might have been traveling and sleeping in people's houses or sleeping, beside the road or whatever. And so that verse took on a whole new meaning when I read it yesterday.
In the context of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And that, thinking about it in our time, trying to apply what will we eat, what will we wear?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're thinking about it like, what will we wear so we don't get made fun of?
Right.
Or what will we eat so we can,
yeah.
Instead of having the Albertsons brands of Pop-Tarts, we have the real brand of Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
Sorry, yeah. And Albertsons, there's no Albertsons here, but like
There used to
United
be.
brand of, growing up, we had either the Albertsons brand or the actual brand, but those are the things that we worry about in our first world of the USA, right?
Yep.
But Jesus is talking to them literally like they may not know what they're going to eat, what will we eat? What will we wear? And Jesus feeds the 5,000. This is kind of the same thing going on. The disciples they're worried about what we're going to feed these people, or do we need to go in and how are we going to afford it?
Yeah.
And, and Jesus is showing I know this, it's related. It's Jesus doing the miracle, but it's
still the same thing.
right. It still goes in like Jesus is saying, I just told you not to worry. And you guys were around and I said, don't worry about what we're going to eat. We're going to eat it. It'll be okay. The Lord knows.
Going to feed you.
I know what you need.
Yeah.
And that's a great verse. But in the beginning of this passage, it says, do not be anxious, and it kind of goes back to the depression thing we talked about. On one side, and one of the side effects of anxiousness is being alone in your thoughts of
I'm the only one.
I'm the only one that has this thought and is scared about it. I'm the only one that worries about these things, right? People are going to, if they know what's in my brain, they're going to think I'm crazy.
Right.
We can get caught up in the who's who or the what we need to accomplish or what we're going to miss that we miss the important part of living, which is actually in the verse between the key verse and the one you read, Matthew 6:33, is seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added. That's the point of living, is seeking first his kingdom, and all of these things will come in line afterward. And I think that's easier said than done, right? Like we just need to see God in this moment, right? Seeking God and his righteousness, but is that going to pay my electricity bill? Is that going to pay my car payment? Seeking first. God knows that we need to pay those bills, but God also knows what we actually need. And what we actually need to do is seek him first, and all of these things will be added. I'm not saying God's going to pay your electricity bill.
Right.
But I'm not preaching a prosperity thing, but I think it's God knows what we need, and he's going to take care of us, and we just need to seek him. And if we are seeking him, we may not be trying to get caught up in all of the things that we need. But yeah, that's way easier said than done for sure.
Yeah. Well, even this week, someone called me and asked me to pray for someone that their husband had lost their job. Yeah. And they were like, they don't know what they're going to do. They have several kids. Yeah. They don't know. And this person just said, if you'll please pray for them. I mean, don't make it a showy thing. And I was like, I'm not going to call her and say, oh, I heard. Yeah. But they're not struggling money wise yet, but if he doesn't find a job, they're going to be. And so she's like, just pray that something comes along for him. Yeah. And I was like, that's a
seeking that's going to be something hard to seek first, right? And seek God's kingdom first, because you're going to be caught up in those things. Yeah. But it's important to remember God in the anxious times that we have. It's important to remember God in the times when we've lost our job, or the times that we don't have enough money to pay our bills. It's important to seek God in those moments, because God will provide, and we just got to have faith in that. And that's a faith building thing, I get it. I get that. And that's going to be a tough thing, but God still works in those moments.
Still working. And back to being lonely and stuff. As a girl, again, we tend to, or some of us tend to keep to ourselves, if we're feeling left out of something, because we don't want to, at my age, I'm old, but it's hard to express hey, I felt left out when you did whatever. And we kind of tend to keep it all in and pout about it. You want to know the truth? So I think verses like that show us we can tell God anything. We can tell God, I am so upset that I got left out of whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay,
Man.
but I'm here. I said, my son,
Yeah.
you're okay. You're not alone.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
I think I understand that. Like, yeah, like all my friends went and got to go hang out, but I didn't get to because I had to work or something.
Yeah.
I get that, or like we just didn't get the invite because they thought we just had to work,
Right.
like, oh, that would have been nice if I could have gotten that.
We thought she was busy, so we didn't bother asking her to come.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. Yeah, I get it. And that's just part of being a millennial adult.
Yes.
Is people don't even ask us because we're so busy all the time because, you've got 3 kids, I've got 3 kids, and we're all being pulled in 1,000 different directions, all the time. And so why even ask us? Because we're we're gonna say no. But it's funny because we just want to be asked and be thought about, thought of.
Just let me say no. It's fine.
Please just invite me, and I'm gonna tell you no, but please invite me. It'll make my day to be invited.
Hey, we texted the crabs one night at 5, and we're like, hey, you want to go eat? And they're like, no, we're already eating. You're like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna go eat.
But it meant the world that you invited us. Like that, like sent us like, man,
bad planners over
the
here.
hills thought of us. Like we are loved by them. We're like at least thought of. Like that made our day. Like I thought about that for a week. I was like, man.
We just felt so bad because we went at 5:30. We're like, hey, you want to go? 5 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
Get your acts together.
It was funny. We had just sat down to eat, and I looked at my phone. I'm like, man.
It's because
2 minutes
Allison
later,
doesn't text me back.
2 minutes earlier, and I would have probably been able to swing it. But we literally just sat down to eat spaghetti, and that spaghetti's good. Or we should have, what we should have done? We should have had you guys come over for spaghetti. Why didn't we think of that?
I just brought the whole crew. Everyone.
And Kenny had made spaghetti, and Kenny's spaghetti is like, it's legendary. It's really good. It's different.
I love spaghetti.
We should have invited you guys. That's what we should have done.
Do that next time.
Yeah. Next time, text us when we're ready. Okay.
When you're ready to eat spaghetti.
We're making plans. All right. So what else is going on at VBS?
Okay.
There's another thing, right?
Yes. So on the second day, we introduced a new song.
Okay.
And a new buddy, our little character people.
Did we talk about the buddies last time?
I don't think so.
What was the buddy for day 1? What's the buddy? Sorry. Should have put you.
No, I'm trying to think. It's day 2. The otter.
The otter's day 1. What's the name? Do you know?
Ponder?
Ponder the otter.
I think.
Okay. Got it.
And then Claudia, the crab, is day 2.
Perfect. I got a good relationship with crabs. Okay.
So she's day 2. And then we're going to make picture frames and crafts.
Hey.
And we're making snow and imagination station.
And you guys are working on part of that right now, right?
We're working on decorations right now.
Yeah, you guys are working on decorating. And the month earlier, you guys are working. Like D now, I'm worried about decorating the day of. Decorations
it's a little bit different.
VBS is a lot different. Yeah, you guys are working on it right now, taking a whole day, bringing lunch out here to work on it, which is just kind of goes to show like what actually is in VBS prep. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that goes into it.
VBS is a different animal. It's just you've got to have a lot of stuff. Like when you start thinking about it, you're like, yeah, the stage is decorated. I have all those ideas. And then I'm like, oh, the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, the welcome.
Oh, that one corner down over there.
Okay, maybe I'm a little psycho. But anyway, I want it decorated.
Yeah, I mean, the decorations are a big deal.
Themes.
Yeah, themes. But what is Claudia's catchphrase? Does she have like a when we wonder we can trust Jesus?
I mean, that's her, because hers.
When we feel alone, because she's crabby. I get it.
Crabby.
Yeah. Okay.
She feels lonely. Crabs are solitary animals.
You're speaking to me right now.
You're a solitary animal.
That's where our namesake comes from. We're just grouchy old people.
It's really sweet.
Just kidding. We love people, and we're just a little grouchy sometimes.
Oh my gosh. But then it's also hat day because we're going to do some fun little theme days. Yeah, I didn't talk about that on day 1 either.
Yeah. So what was the theme? What was the fun day for day 1?
We're going to do fun socks on day 1.
Okay. So wear your fun socks. And we'll tell you guys on Sunday to remind you on Sunday morning.
And I'll put it out on social media and group me and all the things. But
fun socks. I think I have some sushi socks. That'd be kind of funny.
Those would be awesome.
Yeah. I've got Reptar socks too. Or Ren and Stimpy.
I have so many socks that I'll just have to pick.
Yeah. Wear 2 different kinds.
I might.
But day 1's fun socks. Day 2 is hat day. Is it like funny hat day or just regular hat day?
Whatever hat they want to wear.
Don't say that because Elliot will find some
Soul
strange
Billy.
hat. Yeah. Strange hat that's
Same.
that'll be good. But yeah, so hat day. And then what else is going on?
That day, I'm trying to think.
And go ahead.
No, I know the snack that day is, no, I don't want to say that because I may have changed it.
Yeah. But on our notes here, there's a Bible verse of Matthew 28:20. Mm-hmm. Where does that fit in?
So it's like a memory verse.
Okay.
Type verse. And every day they have a theme verse and then a Bible story.
Okay.
So the 28:20 verse says, "And teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age."
Yeah, I think that's part of the Great Commission, right? Mm-hmm. Go therefore and make disciples, and teaching them to obey it. I think that it goes back to the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus is saying, don't be anxious. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to take that message of seeking first. This is how we do this, mm-hmm. and teaching them to obey, seeking first His kingdom. We're supposed to take that out. It's not just for us to not be lonely. We're supposed to go out and make disciples, mm-hmm. so they're also not lonely. They also learn that they have Jesus. It's not, that message isn't just
sharing
for us.
His peace with others.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. Share that good news. Mm-hmm. You got anything else?
I don't think so. Sign up for VBS.
Family challenge is to sign up for VBS.
I want all the kids.
Yeah, bring it on. What was how many did we run last year? 70?
No, we had 100 signed up, but I think it was like 86, 88. But we have space for 120 with all of the activities and stuff.
So we need to sign up 145.
Yes.
Please make us struggle to get all of the things. So that's your goal, is to sign up 145 kids for camp. Or for VBS.
I had to explain VBS to some kids on Sunday, and I was like, it's like a tiny church camp.
Yeah.
But here at the church, but it's like church camp.
Yeah.
They're like, well, what does that mean? Okay, never mind. I tried.
That's me trying to explain D-Now. It's like D-Now is church camp in 3 days.
Yeah.
Where you just stay here instead of go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. It's about as wild. But
D-Now and VBS, we just pack a lot of Jesus and a lot of fun into 3 days. That's what we do.
I like that.
That's all I can say. A lot of Jesus, a lot of fun.
Packed into 3 days. Yep. And so that's really what's going on. So also your family challenge is to pray for VBS.
Yes.
That God will soften the hearts, and that all the things that we do glorify Jesus, and that Jesus is made known to other people, to more kids.
Oh, hold on, one more thing. We've had some prayers answered, though, because we were short Bible teachers. We were short a couple of
did they grow?
Group leaders.
they got
ha, ha, ha.
Sorry.
Anyway, we were missing Bible teachers and leaders, and we have every single spot filled, with some people saying, well, I can help anywhere. Just tell me where to go.
Awesome.
So I'm excited.
That'll be good. Yeah, and that's God's faithfulness. He's showing that He's going to do some big stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, and that's all we got this week. So remember to seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be added. And we don't need to worry about tomorrow, what we'll eat, what we will wear. That Jesus is on the other side. Jesus has seen tomorrow. He's overcome the world, and that He'll be with us. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.